Oh, I don't. So there's only 4 more episodes of me probably like fucking ranting like this. Um, yeah, I mean, here we are again, back on my channel. Should be getting millions of views for this shit, but oh god damn it, god fucking damn it, dog. Just damn it, just god damn it. See, it's six. Well, okay, so it's 6:30 in the morning right now, right? I gotta go to work soon, right? Or no, well, I gotta drop my brother off, and then I gotta go to work. Oh Lord have mercy. So, if you watched my last episode review, you know that I ended it with the Vegeta exhausting his ki and then looking like in the preview, and he goes back to Super Saiyan Blue, right? And lo and behold, Vegeta just goes Super Saiyan Bluer, right, in the beginning of this episode, right? Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, in the previous episode, Vegeta like replicated his sacrifice attack, that his in vain sacrifice attack that he used against Boo, and for some reason for some bullshit reason, like his body can stand the attack, which to anyone that understands Dragon Ball attacks and how they work, obviously that makes no sense whatsoever, right? So he somehow survives the fucking suicide attack because his body can stand it, even though it's a fucking suicidal attack, right? And apparently, Jesus Christ, I can't even believe I'm saying this. He has exhausted all his ki, right? Like right at the end of that episode, he exhausted all of his ki. But now at the start of this episode, he immediately goes Super Saiyan Blue, or after getting like fucking coerced or like taunted by Jiren. It was something that he said, like, you can't do anything against me on your own. And then Vegeta goes like, cocky bastard, and then he goes Super Saiyan Blue, or something like that. It was something. It's so. Obviously, I don't care enough, and it's so bad enough that I don't even care to remember like what exactly the lines of dialogue were. Anyway, Goku, 17 all attack Jiren together, right? The animation of 17 attacking with Goku and Vegeta, that was so bad. Usually, like when I do an episode review or I talk about like I generally talk like about like the actual like writing, right? Very rarely do I ever go into like animation or I mean, I wouldn't say very rarely. I sometimes talk about it, but when I do talk about it, it has to be like so like stark, so it has to be like so distinct and stark for me to even recognize that your animation is either good or terrible. And the animation was when 17 was attacking Jiren with Goku and Vegeta, like the first instance where they were like ah, and like just like fucking throwing punches and kicks and shit. Specifically, 17's was terrible. Like, I was laughing, right? And obviously, I've what I'm about to say, I've been saying like the last couple of videos that I've made, and so it's not really much of a surprise that this late in the arc, that this is happening this late in the arc. But there's too much dialogue padding of Jiren is so strong, and obviously sideline commentary like, oh, he cut Goku's Kamehameha like every 2 minutes, right? So obviously that shit is still there. Then it starts getting even like into the more like ass parts, right? So 17 there's like this scene where 17 attacks Jiren from behind, right? That entire scene in of itself was so ass, right? Because and again, this is like where I go like where I start to talk about things like other than the actual writing of the episode. There's epic music playing for like 20 seconds, right? Because 17 attacks Jiren from behind. Like, it's some like epic ass music, right? Not some epic ass music. It's like one of those tracks that we've already heard before. But anyway, the point is like 17 goes behind Jiren and attacks him. The scene is, I think, what, like 20-30 seconds, and then it's funny because like the music shifts from like this like guitar like action music or something, right? Or maybe it was silence, and then it shifts into like this epic music, like 17 attack Jiren from behind. It's so fucking epic, right? So that's playing for like 20 seconds, right? That's one thing. But the other thing that just made me want to like fucking like kill someone or something. And someone was I don't know who it was. Someone was complaining like I should stop like saying I don't know what it was. Anyway, no, I don't really mean that. Okay. Anyway, the other is him. So it's one thing that the epic music was playing for like 20 seconds for like this really short, like really terrible scene, right? The other is like what happened to 17. 17 somehow gets caught in his own explosion. What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? What is that? How many times have we seen Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z? People fired ki blasts at point blank range. Evil Greybu when he killed that one robber, Daburo when he kills Kibito, Goku and his fucking instant transmission Kamehameha to Cell? And for some reason 17 does that against Jiren and he gets caught in the explosion? And of course, because fuck logical power scaling and fuck like anything that makes sense in Dragon Ball Super, this attack somehow damages Jiren, right? It doesn't like fucking like, it's not like Gohan headbutting Raditz and Jiren is like screaming at him, they're like, ah, like he's like fucking like, ah, like he's about to like get like a heart attack or some shit, right? But like Kai, the Universe 11 Kaioshin, that's his name, Kai, he says that Jiren is hurt. 17 says that he damaged Jiren. Vermouth says that Jiren is hurt. Jiren even goes like, you Yato, or like, you know, you bastard, or something like that, right? So of course, because fuck trying to make like a consistent story, this attack somehow hurts Jiren. Where he is Super Saiyan Blue timed with Kaioken times 20 and Super Saiyan Bluer with Vegeta, those attacks never hurt Jiren. And this even leads to even more bullshit. Goku's deduction of how to hurt Jiren is so trash. This was probably the worst part of the episode for me. Goku's deduction of how to hurt Jiren is that he has to be hit by a big attack unguarded. What the fuck? Wait, wait. Okay. What the fuck? What? Goku's big deduction. I finally figured out how to hurt Jiren. Is that I have to hit him with this big ass ki attack, and Jiren has to not be guarding it. That's the big revelation. That's the big way to beat Jiren. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Dude, this is obvious as bullshit. Cue the Genki Dama that he used against Frieza. What happened? Frieza could not fucking withstand that shit. He was like, this is nothing. The attack in itself was big. Cue the fucking father-son Kamehameha against Cell. It overwhelmed him because it was too fucking big and he couldn't guard against it. Cue the Genki Dama against Majin Buu when he went like Super Saiyan at the end and killed him with that shit. How can you be writing the show and you say that? Listen, this is not something that needs to be fucking stated like some obvious ass like fucking 2 + 2 = 4 bullshit. That's not what this is, dude. How the fuck is that some like revelation, some epiphany that in Dragon Ball? Can you imagine Goku, dude? Imagine in Dragon Ball Z if even during one of those fucking fights, right? Say the fucking final flash, even something that doesn't even kill Cell, right? How can you imagine him saying like, my tactic is for me to hit you with the big enough ki attack and so that you're not guarding? How the fuck is that even? How is Jesus, dude? What the fuck? Forget Dragon Ball. What, Naruto with the fucking Rasengan or some Chidori or some shit? Hunter x Hunter with like some big ass like Junkin? Yu Yu Hakusho with like some big ass like Spirit and Reika? You don't think like these? I don't know who wrote this show, right? But you think that you're a line of dialogue that you should have Goku say, right? Right? And I know Goku's not like the smartest guy. He's not fucking Einstein or anything. right? But at least he's at least pretty competent when it comes to fighting, and in everyday life too, which, but that's a whole nother discussion, right? But you went onto your computer, or you went into your notebook with a pen, and you thought that it was all right for you to say for Goku to say, my tactic to use against Jiren is for me to hit him with the big ass attack unguarded. And then he schemed, quote unquote, schemes with 17. Like 17 is gonna make some opening, and then Goku and Vegeta are gonna hit him with some attack, right? Because they're Super Saiyan Blue. Even though beforehand, like Android 17 somehow harms Jiren, whereas Super Saiyan Blue didn't do anything. Anyway, obviously, fuck power scaling, right? We don't give a shit about like if we don't give a shit about writing a good story, right? We don't give a shit about that. Anyway. So that's one thing, right? Goku's deduction. Then he schemes with 17 to make an opening. Okay. In that's me sneezing at the bullshit. Okay. So in usual story like this, I wouldn't mind that, right? Like making an opening in Hunter x Hunter or Naruto, even in Dragon Ball, right? I wouldn't mind it. But the point is, as is what I've said is like a big problem with Super, is that too many things are repeated, and making an opening is something that is definitely fucking repeated. How? Not even the Jiren fights. Consider like all the other fights in Tournament Power. How many times have we heard the phrase, I'm going to make an opening? Hit versus Jiren. Hit versus Dispo. Goku versus Dispo. I can go on and on. Toppo. Vegeta versus Toppo. I'm going to make an opening. That phrase has been thrown around like so many goddamn times that like hearing it now is basically like it doesn't do anything. It's meaningless. It's fucking meaningless, right? It's so dumb considering, one, right? If this was a proper Dragon Ball story, right? Creating an opening would have no effect considering Jiren is already so much stronger than them, right? We already know that if this was a proper Dragon Ball story, right? Even if you are so much more powerful than the other person, right? Or no, sorry. Yeah, for 90% of the time, if you are much more powerful than the other person, then creating an opening and tactics and all this thing don't mean dick, right? That's the reason why Krillin would never logically even stand a chance against Boo, right? It's the reason why fucking Tien wouldn't be able to do shit against Cell, right? And yeah, people are gonna bring up, oh, what about the Shin Kikoho? And keep in mind, Cell was perfectly fine after the fucking Shin Kikoho, right? He was about to kill Tien. He didn't need a Senzu Bean when he went go looking after fucking 16 and 18. Remember that shit? So anyway, and so that's the point, right? When you're already so much more stronger than everyone else, tactics and all this bullshit doesn't really matter, right? Now, obviously there are some exceptions, right? You can have a weakness, say like Raditz's tail, right? Raditz was dominating the fuck out of Goku and Piccolo, right? But Goku was able to exploit the weakness of grabbing Raditz's tail, right? Or even when like Frieza couldn't sense ki, he was unable to sense ki on Namek when he was fighting Goku and Vegeta, right? And I think even Piccolo, maybe even Gohan and Krillin too. Anyway, so you can there is obviously situations, right, where you can get a good hit in, even if you are much weaker, right? Like, and well, actually, there's only one instance that I can think of. Maybe I'll probably have to think a little harder, but it was Goku versus Frieza, right? Frieza when he started to use 50% of his power, started to beat the shit out of Goku, right? But Goku before that happened, right? When they were relatively like even with one another, or at least Frieza allowed Goku to believe that he was in his league at the time, right? Goku exploited Frieza's inability to sense ki underwater. He used the he formed two Kamehamehas underwater, right? They were like fucking like spirit, like Yamcha's like Sokidan, Spirit Ball, and like Ryu's Hadoken or some shit, right? And then he sent them up at Frieza, and then he fucking like drop kicks the shit out of him later. Remember that? That's an example of what I'm talking about, right? But even then, at least like, even then, like being weaker than him, even thinking about it now, even that doesn't really hold all that much weight because Frieza didn't even go 50% at the time. So if he did, I'm sure like that tactic wouldn't have meant dick anyway, right? So that just helps my point even more. creating an opening and all this shit, right? So that's one thing, right? With Raditz' tail and Frieza being unable to sense ki, and if you're like so much more stronger than them, then creating an opening obviously like it should and shouldn't work in certain situations, right? But the second thing is that Goku already fucking tried this with goddamn landmines. What the fuck, dude? He almost eliminated fucking Jiren, right? By doing that shit with the Kienzan on the cliff and shit. Remember that shit? And so oh my goodness, fucking it's a fucking big ass explosion, dude. What the fuck are you? The fucking Genki Dama, for Christ's sake. What the fuck, man? Anyway, now we go into like some like oh my goodness, this humanity shit. Vermau's asking what 17's wish was, right? That part was funny, not necessarily funny, like it was good writing. Funny in that it was just like it was just like so like it was funny to like mock that line because he's asking what 17's wish was, right? And 17's wish, if you've been keeping up with the show, is for him to like get a cruiser to sail around the world with his family, right? And it's funny because it's so dumb and insignificant with all the other people, like with everyone else's wishes, right? It's so dumb and insignificant. Like, and I'm saying like minus 18 because she's expected to be like like a golden hoe, right? And Frieza's is a little more dramatic, and I don't even know what Goku's is, but Jiren's is I don't what even is Jiren's wish at this point? I don't even know. He says he has a wish. I don't even know what it is though. It's probably like wishing for all-consuming strength or wishing for like peace among all the universes. It's something like that, right? Anyway, so yeah, I mean, just to hear that was just like really funny. Anyway, it's just like out of everything, that's gonna be your fucking wish. So yeah, anyway, Vermao narrating Jiren's past out in the open, that was actually like really awkward to me. It's like I hate like scenes like this, right? I just think it's like the worst like bullshit. It's like an artificial way to like raise empathy for the other characters to feel empathy for Jiren, right? Or not even Jiren, just for like any other character. It's like Naruto sharing his feelings about Sasuke with the whole Ninja Alliance, right? When he like gets like his power up and shit, when they touch and share his ki or his chakra and stuff. Remember that? I said ki. Remember that part where it's in the last Naruto arc where like Naruto, because the whole Ninja Alliance is like being touched or being like they're sharing like his Nine-Tailed Fox energy. They're somehow able to see like what he feels about Sasuke or something, and it's just like I don't like that shit. Those things are meant to be kept like private, right? Those things should not be like shared. Because there's no reason for them to be shared other than for other characters to feel sympathy and empathy for whoever's being like prejudiced against or whatever. Which in this case apparently is fucking Jiren, right? Now Jiren's past in of itself, in my opinion, isn't that bad at all. I saw some people complain on Twitter that it's generic, but at this point, I don't really care that much because obviously, like, Super sucks, so I don't give a fuck, right? But even if it was generic, so what? I mean, to me, yeah, generic in itself is never a good thing, right? I mean, I've never heard, like, generic being good, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad either. I think, like, what Jiren's past, like, in a microcosm is, like, he was trained, his parents were killed, and he trained to get stronger. I think that story, in very general terms, works within the confines of Dragon Ball for someone to be motivated to fight and get stronger. So I didn't really have a problem with the fight, with the flashback in of itself. Not too much, at least. It could have been less vague and much more unique, though. That's for damn sure. Like, who is the evildoer? Who is the master? What is Jiren's wish? Things like that. Those are questions that could have been. Those are questions that could have been answered. Also, this should have been something that should have been introduced like 20 episodes ago, not 4 episodes before the show fucking ends for good, right? or something like that. Not even 20 episodes, maybe 10 episodes or something. Because at this point, I know people have been complaining that Jiren's just like, he's just like a stone wall and all that. To me, that those sorts of characters have never like really bothered me because, one, I think it's fucking cool. Two, I think being a stone wall is a way to characterize a character to begin with. But I mean, I see the complaint. Like, you should have given us this, like, not right before he's about to fucking, like, either, like, not right before the show is about to fucking end, you know? But now, this whole past thing creates some fucking, like, inconsistent writing within Super now. Because now what doesn't make sense lately is Jiren's relationship with the Pride Troopers. So, this whole thing is, like, he doesn't trust anyone for the most part, right? Because, so here's the thing, right? His family was killed by, like, this evildoer, right? He was found by this master, right? This master trained him, and then there were other, like, friends for him, and other, not necessarily, well, yeah, friends, and students for him to, like, partake in training with, right? This whole group, right, go and fight this evildoer, right? And then everyone dies except for Jiren. Well, not everyone, but most of the students die, and Jiren's master dies when they rematch the evildoer, right? So Jiren doesn't win. Jiren does not win in the rematch, the one that killed his parents and family, right? But for some, and that's another vague thing, like, how the fuck did he even survive, right? But he was willing to rise up again and challenge him again, right? Once he got stronger. The other students were not willing to do that, so they left him to pursue his vengeance on his own, right? And whether he did or didn't achieve that vengeance, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, he felt betrayed because, or he was left alone because they didn't want to follow him in avenging his master, right? So, this creates inconsistent writing because if he doesn't trust anyone, why is he part of a group then? And you can make the argument, oh, okay, you know, you can be part of a group and not trust anyone and be a loner and be like on your own and stuff. Okay, fine. But if that's the case, what was with the fucking friendly talk that he was having with Toppo and Dispo then? This dude is acting all like comrade and professional like with Toppo and Dispo, and now all of a sudden he doesn't trust anyone. And I should have brought this up when he called Toppo pathetic for losing. Like, what the fuck? Like, all of a sudden, like, he's getting along with Toppo and Dispo, and then all of a sudden he's like, you're pathetic for losing? What the fuck? It's not even like he secretly hates them or anything either. So it's just like, what? What? What is this turn of character? And then then that leads into like this whole talk of humanity, which is so nauseating when it comes to 17. Evidently, no one, or like whoever's writing the show, or at least this episode, doesn't understand 17's character. Him being human wasn't even a defining trait of his. Listen, 17's defining trait, right, before he fights Piccolo and all that, right, was that he liked to take it easy. Wanting to not fly to Goku's house to kill him with 16 and 18 isn't indicative of him being more human, less robot, or whatever, you know, whatever you're trying to fucking say. It shows that he likes to take it easy, right? That's it. It's not like he has some fucking moral conundrum or anything like that. So him being more human isn't even fucking anything. It's, what is that? If you want to talk about being more human, look at fucking Meruem from Hunter x Hunter, where he learns about love and emotion with people. You know, shit like that. That's being more human. Not, what the fuck? 17? You like sappy stuff like this when 18 saves 17 from being wrung out? What the fuck? Dude, how can you watch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and come to this and think that this is okay? I'm so like... I literally feel this is like black, like, I don't care like how extreme this analogy is, but it's like black people, right, and white people, right? You know, like the dissonance between the two, right? Super haters and super likers. I feel it's exactly like that. You're not allowed to, you know, it's kind of like how it's like kind of like how black people are right in some sense about saying that, you know, white people should not be, you know, um, I don't mean to get all political here, but it's kind of like, you know, why are black people allowed to be proud and white people aren't? Sorry, sir. Let me take oranges. Hold up. What was I gonna say? Okay. No, it's like the whole argument where white people go like, why are black people allowed to be proud of being black, but I'm not allowed to be proud of being white? And it's because, you know, white people, whether you're Viking or French or whatever, and sure you can be proud of that. Why not? I don't give a fuck. But when you use that in comparison to like black pride, you know, white pride, it's based historically. It's based on slavery, and not only in America, conquesting of other third world countries, cultural assimilation, cultural what's the word? Cultural appropriation. You know, obviously racism, and that's where like context comes into play between like white people and black people, right? Like and about like white pride and black pride, right? And like white nationalism and like why that shit is just like fucking like bad, right? Because you know white people are the majority in, you know, in the what's the word, in the long run of thing, or yeah, they're the majority in anything, whether it's executive CEO or like whatever the fuck it is, right? Anyway, I don't know what the point is I'm trying to make here is, or why I even brought up that analogy, but it's kind of like super likers and super haters. Trying to like meld the two is never going to work because, and most super likers, in my opinion, don't even understand they don't understand context. They don't understand the notion of context. Not only when it comes to like the 17 and human stuff, but even like power scaling and saying like, oh, this is the same thing that happened in Z, and obviously it's not. You know, these two were the top two strongest characters in the series at the time, and Frieza getting 6 months and jumping over Cell and Boo and Dabura and all these other characters, and obviously it does not make fucking sense. But anyway, point is, this whole talk about humanity when it comes to 17 is nonsensical, terribly written, does not make any sense, and yeah, they don't get it. Jiren sending a killing attack at Goku and Vegeta in 17. I mean, I guess technically because Frieza is still alive, like, yeah, it like that should not be something that should be happening. But considering that they are the last people there, that the universes are going to be like wiped out in the end, I don't really see much. I don't really see much. I don't really see much a point in there being a no killing rule now. See, that's the thing. Like, if this was a universe survival arc, I feel like there should have been killing and flying from the start. Like, I don't understand like why those are even like rules. Like, what? Why are those rules? Like, if anything, like just think about it. Like, how, dude? If you don't fly in a post Dragon Ball Z fight, don't you think technically that makes the fight like less exciting? You know? And which, by the way, they were fucking flying in this episode too. So, anyway. Yeah. So yeah, obviously the big thing is that 17 sacrifices himself at the end. Yeah, pretty terrible sacrifice scene. Obviously, pales in comparison to pretty much every other death scene in Dragon Ball, major death scene in Dragon Ball. But yeah, I guess it's kind of good to see like, you know, actual death. Like it's something like I never would have expected 17 to be killed, you know, in a fight, but it happened. It's just like, what the fuck, really? What? And yeah, so yeah, he's dead. But And yeah, sure, I guess I can respect that in some way, but it's also like, why did you, but, why did he even need to sacrifice himself, that's the thing I don't get. Because the thing is, like, he puts this barrier around Goku and Vegeta before, like, self-destructing, and it's just like, why couldn't you do the barrier thing and then just get the fuck out? Like he's trying to hold back the attack with like this like multi-barrier like ki blast thing. And I'm just like, you could have spent that time just like saving Goku and Vegeta and getting the fuck out. So it's just like I don't understand like why did he have to do that? Apparently like the thing is that he was trying to have Goku and Vegeta heal for like 2 seconds. Oh my god, this is so stupid. 17 literally died for Goku and Vegeta to heal for 2 seconds. Could you imagine Goku and Vegeta healing for 2 seconds in Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, and that having any effect on Frieza or Cell or Boo? And yeah, so yeah, 17. I don't understand. I mean, I respect the fact that like it was something that was unexpected and like yeah, like someone died. I respect that, but it's just like, what was the point? And it was terribly written at that too. Like there was no reason for him to die. And the other thing is like the way in which it happened makes me think that 17 is not going to do this in the manga, because obviously I think like obviously like if you see like the whole like barrier like ki blast thing that he was using in this episode, where it was kind of like a wave thing, right? I'm pretty sure like that's not going to be in the fucking manga. No fucking way, right? So yeah, to me I would reckon pretty much most of this stuff is pretty much like anime only, right? For the most part. People were bringing up 17's bomb out on Twitter too, but and Krillin obviously wished that away with 18 and 17 at the end of the Androids arc, but I don't even really think that's what he used. I think he was just using what Vegeta did against Boo and what Goku was going to do to a Super 1-Star Dragon in Dragon Ball GT. So, yeah, I mean, for why he blew up, I think it, or like how he blew up rather, I guess it makes sense. But obviously, like why it was necessary is obviously like fucking nonsensical. There's no like reason behind it. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess I would say like the best parts were obviously Jiren's past and 17. The fact that 17 died, but those weren't. I wouldn't even call those like good things. Those were just like, wow, It was just like wow. It's a shame really. Super has not really given me like a. I can't really think of a. I mean, I guess Battle of Gods is the exception, but or some scene in Battle of Gods, but I can't. I don't know. I don't want to go into like what Super hasn't done that Z and Dragon Ball have done, but anyway, yeah, another shit episode. So that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Take care.